Hello, we are Chi Hong and Winslet from Management and Marketing Department. The topic of our presentation today is the use of social media for blended learning in tertiary education. In last semester, we attempted to use Twitter for implementing blended learning activities. Now, we would like to share our experience with you. We will first discuss about the differences between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0, and why we chose Twitter to facilitate teaching and learning in the classroom. Then, we will provide an example of how Twitter can be used for blended learning. Moreover, we have conducted a survey to measure students' attitude towards the use of Twitter in the class. We will present the survey results and suggest some ways to improve its application in the future. As we all know that, blended learning combines the advantages of both traditional classroom environment in the physical world, and the virtual learning environment on the internet. In a traditional classroom environment, there is a real-time and two-way communication between teacher and students. On the internet, students enjoy flexibility, unbounded educational discourse, and autonomy and independence of learning. In other words, the application of communication technologies of both Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 and traditional teaching methods could improve the effectiveness of teaching and learning. For example, with Web 1.0, users passively receive information and do not actively share with others on the internet. So e-learning with the use of Web 1.0 mainly support administrative functions like assignment submission and lecture note downloading. Web 2.0 tools such as social media put emphasis on facilitating communication and collaboration among people on the internet. It enables social learning opportunities that, in turn, facilitate informal discussion and collaboration. These features are relevant to education and described as social learning. With social media, a student may communicate with teachers and other students, which provides social learning opportunities. We have identified some common communication problems in the classroom. Students feel less interested in traditional face-to-face communication and turn to the cyberspace as an alternative communication channel. They do not like to participate in traditional communication activities, like group discussion, raising questions in the classroom. Social media may help to facilitate communication between teachers and students. There are several reasons of selecting Twitter in the classroom. First, like other social media, it is free service. Second, Twitter is easy to use. It just takes a few minutes to create an account and learn the basic operations of sending the messages on the internet. Third, unlike the traditional learning management system such as Blackboard, the users can select their usernames, so that they may feel comfortable to their opinions and suggestions anonymously. It is common that students feel embarrassed when they speak up their opinions different from, or opposite to their classmates. Fourth, each message of Twitter is limited to 140 characters long. Students do not need to write up a long message each time to respond to an activity. This can help to reduce their stress and time for preparing a long message. Here is an example of using Twitter for blended learning in class. In the online context, a discussion question was posted on Twitter after class by the subject lecturer. Students were expected to work collaboratively by sharing their thoughts and materials like articles, videos and photos related to the discussion topic with other students, and draw a conclusion on Twitter. Also, Students were encouraged to use Twitter to work individually and communicate with other students, for example, providing feedback on the presentation, and criticizing or appreciating individual students' ideas. Students who were able to provide convincing arguments, with examples or evidence, or draw a conclusion with personal insights, received a star on Twitter as recognition of excellent work. In the face-to-face context, good questions or responses were chosen from Twitter for further discussion in the classroom. Students who missed the face-to-face session were able to find the information on the Twitter. Students who had difficulties in using Twitter could ask for assistance. The subject lecture will demonstrate how to use Twitter for discussion. Here is the digital version of Bloom's taxonomy. In this triangle, there are 6 levels of thinking, from lower order thinking at the bottom level, to higher order thinking at the top level. Students are supposed to acquire knowledge and cognitive skills from the bottom to the top gradually. Twitter is usually applied in the lower level. Because of its text-based communication and the limited length of each message, Twitter is mainly used to ask questions, to remind students of some basic facts and concepts. However, it is also possible to use Twitter to achieve learning objectives of higher order thinking in Bloom's taxonomy, like creating a Twitter profile for others and criticizing others' message. At the end of the semester, a quantitative research approach was used to analyze students' attitudes towards the use of Twitter for blended learning. A well-structured questionnaire was distributed among 100 undergraduate students in 2 courses. The questionnaire was divided into 4 categories. Perceived usefulness was assessed by questions 1 to 3. Perceived ease of use was assessed by questions 4 to 6. Collaboration and interaction with others was assessed by questions 7 to 12. And motivation and facilitation of learning was assessed by questions 13 to 18. These questions are on the 7-point Likert scale. 1 is strongly disagree, 4 is neutral, and 7 is strongly agree. There are several common findings in these 2 classes. First, question 4 and question 6 got relatively the highest scores, indicating that students found it easy to use Twitter. Second, question 2, question 10 and question 16 also got relatively high scores in the 2 classes. These show that students could complete the learning tasks with assistance of Twitter and apply and share knowledge with their classmates. These findings revealed that Twitter could assist teachers in engaging students' learning. Third, question 7, question 8 and question 12 got relatively the lowest scores. This reflected that students thought interaction and connection among themselves with Twitter were relatively unimportant for them. Since students could meet each other in a face-to-face manner, social presence in terms of user interaction of Twitter became relatively trivial in this context. The grand means of all questions in Class A and Class B were 4.81 and 4.14 respectively. It is possible that the teacher of Class A used Twitter more skillfully than that of Class B. There are changing roles for teachers, who are now facilitators to enhance student-centered learning approach, in which students are motivated to learn and collaborate with others, using technologies that provide greater autonomy for the learners. In addition, students were asked to provide the reasons why they did not use Twitter in the class. The reasons of not using Twitter include: use Facebook rather than Twitter. I found out that it was hard to continue the use of it, as I am not a frequent user of Twitter. Not usually use Twitter. Cause few people use Twitter in Hong Kong. Twitter is still not commonly used in Hong Kong. Their suggestions imply that it may be better for us to use other online platform, for example, Facebook. Students were also invited to provide suggestions on how Twitter can be best used in the course. For example, Twitter was suggested to share class information, like due date of assignment or short articles or news related to management topics, and case study findings among students. These findings revealed that students like to use social media for sharing course information and learning materials. However, Twitter might not be the most appropriate choice, as students preferred learning by using Facebook, which is the second most popular social networking site globally. These findings also suggested that the degree of familiarity is an important factor to be considered when we select a proper social networking site for educational purposes. It was suggested to use Facebook for blended learning in the future. Although Twitter has its advantages, such as being easy to use, Facebook provides a vast range of networked services and communities. With the use of Facebook, students may actively build knowledge artifacts in social interaction and collaboration, and participate in immersive network learning, and connect with other learners. Here is our conclusion. Students showed positive attitudes towards using Twitter in classroom. They found Twitter easy to use, and it could facilitate knowledge acquiring and sharing with their classmates. In addition, teachers have significant roles in application of social media in their classrooms. Here's the end of our presentation. For more detailed information, you may contact us. Thank you.